Hi folks, welcome to another video from aplanetruth.info. I don't know if you read about the hiring recently or a transfer from Department of Homeland Security, but General John Kelly has just been made Chief of Staff to Trump. And what I wanted to bring your attention to is not only that this guy is a major bad dude and ran Guantanamo Bay, helped command the invasion for lies to South Commander of Iraq invasion of weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist, and over 2 million brown people have died because of it. But also that all this noise of Trump firing and hiring, nothing is by chance. It's all being planned that way. It's the magician's trick of make you look at the right hand while the left hand is doing the deceiving. Now here you see the Congressional Medal of Honor to our war heroes, and it's satanic. These guys are promoting Satanism. This is what they do. This is who the generals are that went to the Georgetown Emerson School, Foreign Service School, the Jesuit schools, okay? And if you can see right here, you see the signing of Bulldog Mattis General, and there's the satanic signs right there in the background, Baphomet as well. So the hiring of John Kelly is being brought over from the Department of Homeland Security into the Chief of Staff of Obama. So now you have General Mattis, who's the Secretary of Defense. You have the National Security Advisor. It was Flynn. He got replaced with the Russian nonsense, and now he's being put in there into the NSA. And so you have three huge bad generals, badass generals, being brought right into the White House, right next door to Trump. We're trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt in this country. We have no way to get out. It's going to be an ugly crash, and they're bringing in a military brass to suppress us, is what I feel is going on right now. But also I want to bring your attention to the satanic aspects. Here's the pentagram that was laid out in Washington, D.C., and also that you see the compass in the square, the Freemasonic signs. And I also want to bring your attention to they're putting in these Baphomet devil satanic statues. One they tried to put in Oklahoma City, and they installed one in Detroit, Michigan. This was done last year. So the devil is being put into the United States. They're calling their shots. 9/11 was the first World War III shot, and now they're following through, and I believe that it's Trump and all his generals that are going to be making war on the people of the United States. But let's look at this Baphomet statue for a sec.
Hundreds of people turned out tonight for the unveiling of a very controversial statue.
Yeah, it really is. The Satanic Temple of Detroit revealed the one-ton bronze statue. Their message, they say, more about laws protecting religious freedom than about Satan. Priya Mann joins us live. Priya, I know there were some protesters out there this evening.
To get tickets, they were told to step back, which they did. The same statue will be unveiled tonight at a secret location. As a small group of protesters prayed, hundreds waited for tickets to the unveiling of an 8-foot-tall bronze statue of a goat-headed Satan. Most of the people here agree with the teachings of the Satanic Temple, the group responsible for the event.
It's here, it's in Detroit, and this is fantastic that we get to experience this and we get to see this amazing statue be unveiled for all the world to see.
Took the heavy rainfall as some sort of sign and even brought their own statue of an angel crushing the devil.
Western culture, Western civilization was built by the Catholic Church. So for them to come out and want to make a statement that all of this is horrible, it's rotten, they don't, I feel sorry for them. I really feel sorry for them.
The Satanic Temple says the statue is a symbol for what they advocate, the separation of church and state.
This country was based on religious freedom, and tonight in what the temple is doing, this is a celebration of true religious freedom.
And as I said previously, they tried to put it in Oklahoma City when they tried to put the Baphomet statue there, and they were denied and had to go up to Detroit. So there's serious intention. What I also want to bring your attention to is the Temple of Set. It's a military order in the United States military run by a General Aquino. General Aquino is another very dark person. Let's find out about him.
Intelligence agencies have infiltrated and created some satanic groups, with the resurgence of these groups beginning in 1966, particularly with the birth of the Church of Satan, founded by Anton LaVey. LaVey studied criminology in San Francisco and worked in the San Francisco Police Department Crime Lab. He also worked as an informant for Interpol. Prior to the Church of Satan, LaVey ran a group called the Magic Circle. LaVey's most famous associate is the National Security Agency General Michael Aquino. At the time of his membership in LaVey's group, Aquino was an Army specialist in intelligence and psychological warfare. In the late 1980s, Aquino was accused by the San Francisco Police Department of being involved in a satanic child molestation ring centered on the daycare at the Presidio military base where Aquino was stationed at the time. It is important to remember that General Aquino is first and foremost a military intelligence officer with over 40 years' experience in counterinsurgency operations and an expert in psychological warfare. General Aquino's psychological warfare campaign has started or infiltrated cults and other closed systems as part of a concerted effort to control large numbers of people and to destabilize the centers of constitutional and legal authority both here in the United States and in other nations.
Mother of harlots, but also the goddess of war. And as he signs this, he happens to be right in front of that pentagram that has Ishtar in the middle. Now, the fact that these awards that they give out are pentagrams are just, I mean, you want to talk about unbelievable and unbelievably obvious and right in our faces. It's cool. We just designed it and did that. You know, we threw Ishtar in the middle. You know, the goddess of prostitution. What we're seeing around us is modern-day Babylon. And that's not a surprise to anyone that listens to this channel. We see the abominations in front of us every single day. But this is just more of seeing things in plain sight, because there they are hanging on the walls. There we see them honoring soldiers and people by giving them these medals. Everybody applauds and cheers. They don't look at the medal. They don't go, why is it designed that way? What's it stand for? But those of us who are awake know why it's a pentagram. Those of us who are awake know why there's a circle going around it, right? Because the pentagram inside of the circle is what they use when they perform black magic. And having Ishtar directly in the middle of the Medal of Valor is not a coincidence. So the fact that Trump signed this bill in front of this specific medal, to me, is interesting. They choose these things carefully. These pictures that are done are strategically done. Okay, everything is planned out by these people. They think this way. They don't just randomly, do these photo shoots, these movies, these music videos. It's not just random things, random shapes, random symbols in there. They don't just throw it in. It's deliberately there. So Trump signing the immigration ban, which could lead to war, and this is them, as they always do, telling us stuff in plain sight. So could this lead to something? Could this just be a sign of them rubbing it in our faces? We'll see.
Good day, brethren. You've seen the video clip. All presidents have a covenant with Satan, and I'm going to back up for you what is in that video clip. Yes, all presidents have a covenant with Satan. Every president of this world have a covenant with the devil. Why? These kingdoms belong to Satan. Now, Jesus did not argue with Satan about this. However, Satan's rule will end shortly. Satan is coming down to the earth, Revelation 12, and he has a very short time. And the word says there, rejoice ye that are in heaven, but woe, woe to those who are on the earth, for Satan hath but a short time. Read Luke 4 verse 5, and it says, then the devil led him, that's Jesus, up to the high place, and showed him in an instant all the kingdoms of the world. Now I will give you authority over all these kingdoms and all their glory, he said, for it has been relinquished to me, and I can give it to anyone I wish. Do you see the word here? He says, ye have the authority over all these kingdoms and all their glory. He said, for it has been relinquished to me. It has been relinquished to Satan with the fall of man. Now, many of you say, yes, when Jesus died on the cross, it has been relinquished back to man. No, it has not been relinquished back to man. It has not been. Jesus died for your sins But Satan still has authority over the kingdoms. And he said, it has been relinquished to me, and I can give it to anyone who wishes. Satan gave the presidency to the White House to Donald Trump. Satan gave Macron the presidency to France. Satan gave the presidency to May, that is to England, to Britain. Satan has given, he said he can give it to anyone who wishes. And he gave the presidency of South Africa to Cyril Ramaphosa. Yes, that is what it says, people. The only time when it will be relinquished back to Jesus, and that is in the word, as when the seventh trumpet sounds, the seven angels sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our God, our Lord, and and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. Yes, God has certainly control, and you will quote all the scriptures. It is God that puts people into position. Yes, God puts people into position, but it says further, for God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto God. Even the great Nebuchadnezzar, Satan gave it unto him, but eventually at old age, until the tree has been cut, hewn down, only then Nebuchadnezzar got saved. King David had his own problems. Even that kingdom belonged to God. But you see, David chose God over Satan. Yes, Satan fought David all the way. But David's heart remained true to God. It remained true to God. Amen. I would like to share with you a short testimony about HORÁCIO MONTERO, a testament of Bishop HORÁCIO MONTERO from the city of San Miguel, the TUCUMÁN of Argentina. It's a little bit difficult pronouncing those names. Now, this bishop was snatched to hell in the year 2017. He had an out-of-body experience. I had a similar experience like that. I also seen hell, but I want to share this bishop's testimony to hell in the year 2017. Now, concerning the politician Fidel Castro, now this bishop said, at night an angel came to me and said, I have revelation from God to show you. I lay down on the bed to let my spirit go. The angel took me to hell, in a place where there were only mighty men of great influence on earth and who are in torment. I went to a place and I saw the politician Fidel Castro. He was in a large cage and several demons tormented him. His punishment is very cruel because of the evil he caused on earth. The politician threw in this entire population of his country into misery, causing hunger and unemployment. Many entrepreneurs failed because they had the property confiscated by this man who enjoyed all the income of his country without caring for the poor people. The angel commanded a demon to reveal. Now this is the story. Satan will never reveal or let out something about his. God commanded this demon this angel commanded the demon to reveal everything that happened in politics. Now, Fidel said all presidents, governors, and ministers are destroying the world. Did you hear that? They are all funding major projects like abortion, pedophilia, prostitution, and trafficking in drugs. And we can see it right all over in the world. In America, everywhere else, in South Africa, you find prostitution, human trafficking, that's in drugs and weapons. Everything that is illegal in countries by the law of the rulers doesn't really work in practice. All the criminal factions that are prosecuted by the political leaders is only a lie, people, it says. It's only a lie to deceive the world population. Whoever is in charge of the criminal faction, here they are. Whoever is in charge of the criminal factions is politicians who are in charge of them. You see that yourself? They are in charge of those criminals. They put men to be faction leaders. But these are their representatives. You've seen in the video clip? Those generals, those thug generals. Trump nominated them. The rulers do not want them to find out they are profiting from drug money. They even kill for it. You've seen that even happen in Mexico. When I was, that is now Fidel speaking. He said, when I was on the land, I profited from drug trafficking, money laundering. I put my agents to be in the leader of the Cuban criminal faction. Rulers cannot fight criminal factions. Rulers cannot fight criminal factions. We see it even in South Africa as well. It's because they are behind it. Ministers are behind it. Rulers cannot fight those criminal factions as they have an alliance with them. And that is a fact, people. You cannot come away with that. This is the hardcore truth. The rulers secretly from various parts of the world finance the prostitution of women and young girls. The rulers created transgender movement homosexuals. Who knows that? The whole 50 states of America were signed off to the homosexuals and the gays, to the LGBT. All of them have now rights and a license to marry. Oh my word. All these movements are financed by the government itself. They are financed by the governments of the world, by themselves, by Obama himself, by Donald Trump himself. Don't let Donald Trump fool you. Oh no, Donald Trump has been chosen by God. No, he's not chosen by God. Satan gave the rulership. That's what the Bible says. Satan gave it to him. Yes, God put the prime ministers into position. Yes, God do it. But they have to fulfill God's will. Yes, the rulers have no desire to help the poor. They just want to get rich. They fund abortion and pedophilia to destroy humanity. And that is God's honest truth. All rulers who come to the power have a covenant with Satan. Yes, may have a covenant with Satan. Macron have a covenant with Satan. AB have a covenant with Satan. The China president, he have a covenant with Satan. All these guys Cyril Ramaphosa have a covenant with Satan. All the politicians of the world. Why? Is because Satan, it belongs to him. It belongs to Satan. They have to follow an evil agenda of destruction of the world population. Politicians who make pacts are not placed in power by the votes of the people. The television channel are paid by the rulers. CNN. And even Fox. Yeah. The television channels are paid by rulers and the businessmen to spread the corruption as sex, drugs, prostitution, theft, violence, and homosexuality. All this is a form of indoctrination for evil, and the big target is the family and the homes that are attacked by the media. The newspaper is a school that teaches to kill and steal. Newspapers from news agents and magazines are liars. Don't even speak about the movies. After Fidel spoke all this, the demons began to torture him again. People, Galatians 6 says, be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall ye also reap. For he that soweth to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. Here you see all the world presidents, even this man, Jacob Zuma, caused so much heartache in South Africa. Corruption was out of order in his days. Let me not even say anything further. The Antichrist, I saw the demons planning to form. This is the same bishop. He also saw about the Antichrist. He said, I saw the demons planning to form the government of the Antichrist, using all the most people, all the most important politicians. That is what Fidel Castro said. Using all the most important politicians on earth. I want to tell you, this is this bishop, he wants to tell all believers not to run for office. He says there is no dispute between parties, and that is the Democrats and the Republicans. What you see there is just a play for you in action with the Democrats and the Republicans. Why do I choose America? Yes, the world is corrupt, but all those corruption and fault spreads from America to the world. Did you know that? Yes. Revelation 18 says so. There is no dispute between these parties. They are all friends and they all work together. They are planning the reign of the Antichrist. They just pretend they are enemies within the media to deceive voters and lie with false promises. There you have it, people. All the world presidents have a covenant with Satan. They all have. You can only pray about the situation on a daily basis, and only God can make the difference, people. We're living in an evil world, and it is getting more evil by day. But God's light is shining, must be shining, is shining in his watchmen and in the bride of Christ. So please do subscribe, and please push the little bell button for your notification. Be blessed.